as we reach the end of the presentation, I hope that you have had fun thus far and that you have learned something new, and you were inspired to share your best practices as well regarding your students. So a few general things that I wanted to mention regarding student interaction. As the feedback that I received from them, many of them are also in uncertain times, scared of their education, what's going to happen, and they get these mixed messages across social media and from friends that are at other institutions, university, higher education, schools, that often confuses them. So as a general rule that I apply with my students is to just send them daily motivations, just to let them know that their education and their personal lives have now combined, and they need to still keep sight of the end goal, which is the education and the qualification, and then also still to maintain that healthy student life, personal life balance, and then just to check in with them from time to time, and then also to keep them updated of things that are relevant and information that is come from valid sources, and then also to use your little branding to keep them updated. So for example, this was one that I sent when we returned to college, just to show them the social distancing norms that they can become accustomed to, the empty classrooms that we are preparing, and our PPEs that we are equipped with, and preparing for them to come back, and then just keeping them updated so that their mind can still register that their education has not forgotten about them. And in the groups that I am in, the information is being passed through. So this is for the benefit of lecturers whose WhatsApp groups I'm not in, and I'm not too sure what your method of transferring information to your students are. So kind of before sending a full memorandum, a DHET memorandum and things like that to students, extract parts from there that are only relevant to them, and then summarize it and put it in a very short method so that they can absorb just what they need to know, instead of overwhelm them with information that they don't really need to know. Then link your activities to a mark. Students are very clever. They will always ask me, "Sir, is this towards my ICAS mark?" And I'm sure you've heard it as well. My answer to that is yes. I call it now the lockdown. If anything should happen, we don't know ICAS mark. So students are more, let's say, persuaded to do their work if they know that there is a reward at the end, which is a mark. If you're going to say, "No, this is just for revision," the lack of participation is going to be much greater, and it depends also on the relationship you have with your students. So I generally, I'm going to use this word very cautiously, manipulate the response to tell them that this is marks that are recorded, and I do keep a record of these marks, but it's not necessarily going to count towards their ICAS mark. It's also just an indication, and it helps you to understand when they do come back and their marks are either high or low. There's something that you can refer back to say, "Look, I gave you these assignments, these were your marks that you achieved. What happened? You never kept in contact, or your marks are high, and this is why your marks are high." So you can kind of use it as an evaluation tool as well, but link it to a mark. When sending information on WhatsApp, work through the class rep. If you have the class rep on WhatsApp, send the information to the class rep for them to forward it at a particular time to the group. The reason for this is that if you forward your information directly in the group and you need to make screenshots of proof for your subject file, portfolio of assessment files, you have to scroll through all the other lecturers' information and other chats in the group. Whereas if you just send it directly to the rep, you have a clear source of control and record keeping for screenshots and so forth. Another general thing is to compile or send your main topic for the week on a Monday, and then maybe a test as well, and then just do follow up and reminders throughout the week. And then what I usually also do is name and praise. Instead of naming and shaming, I name and praise. So I will keep a record of students that has already started submitting, and then 2 days down the line before the deadline, I will then send a message and say the following people have submitted, thank you very much, I look forward to receiving the others again. So that kind of lets students have a visual of their name not appearing on a list, and then they kind of get more motivated, well, not all of them, to actually submit their work. And then just to send weekly or monthly surveys on accountability and just get the general feedback or feeling from students. And you can use Google Forms again, just to get the feeling of how they're finding your classes, how they're finding the information, what they would do or what they would think would improve their learning experience, because we all can learn from them as well, because they are in their personal lives and personal situations. So we also need to be understanding of that. So these are a few tips that I picked up as general guidelines that I use with regards to students, and just letting them know that even though there's this barrier between us, that we are still trying to keep the connection between them very tight, and letting them know that we are around.